What's up everybody, Jeremy Weiss here with Weiss Tech Hockey, and in this video I want to show you a really excellent example of the sagging zone, D-zone coverage that we describe in our coaches training course. So if you haven't seen the coaches training course, make sure you check that out. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can go and kind of tune yourself up as the season is about to begin. But in the meantime, I want to show you how Canada runs this. This is back from the Olympic footage, and this is Canada versus USA. So we've got a face-off in Team Canada's zone. Let's just go ahead. We'll pull up the game. I'm going to run this through in slow motion so you can kind of see. We'll pause it along the way so we can point things out. But you see defensive zone face-off in Canada's zone, and they set up fairly similar to what we describe in the coaches training course, except that they don't have it. It's not the exact same setup, but the concepts are still the same. So what we're looking for here is as soon as the face-off drops, this guy's going through. He's attacking the puck, wherever that puck goes. We've got this guy who's the other winger. He's going to be watching and inching up, potentially to, if they do win it cleanly, back to their defenseman. There's a potential for a D-to-D pass up across the blue line. So he's anticipating that, just making sure that he's in good positioning for that. If it doesn't go, or if we get the puck, if Canada gets the puck back, then he's not going to be fully committed out there anyways. And then the defensemen are in their proper positions, getting ready for a potential breakout. So let's go ahead, we'll hit play, and then we'll let this play through a little bit, and then we'll kind of, like I said, pause it, point out a few things along the way, and then we'll go from there. Team Canada runs this really, really well, and they run it in an advanced style. So we'll show you what I mean by that as we go. Let's hit play. Okay, so we get our attack man going out strong. The one thing I don't know if I really like, it doesn't hurt him here, but the centerman goes out hard. If it was a cleaner one face-off, so if USA would have won it cleaner and the centerman let his guy go, that could have caused problems later on. But in this case, it doesn't do too much damage. Now we're into our good positioning here. So puck's in the far corner. We've got a weak side winger being the sag man, so he's down in the slot area. We've got a man in front of the net. We've got our centerman who had gone out. He's retreating back to the net, and then we're going to see how this plays out. But this turns out really, really well. They run it really well. Okay, puck goes corner to corner. Now look at the shift. Look at the transitional shift here. Okay, so now this is textbook. We've got our strong side defenseman on the puck. We've got our centerman on the strong side post, defenseman on the weak side post. We've got our winger, in this level of play, like I said, they're running it in an advanced style. So usually in the diagram, we diagram this guy up at kind of the top of the circles. In this case, they're NHLers. They read the play very well. They understand the play, and they're fast. So he can, I always say, get as aggressive as possible. So if he can start lower and bait that guy into making that pass and then intercept it, even better, more power to him. So this guy's in great position here, especially for this level of play. And then you'll see in the frame coming in just a second here, we've got the weak side winger that will be in the low slot as our sag man. That's what we call him. That's my terminology, at least. If you want to name that something else, feel free. But you'll see him coming into the frame in just a second. There he is. Okay, so we've got our sagging. Now watch what happens here. USA actually runs a really nice cycle. So they pull the puck up, they pull this defenseman out of position, and then cycle it back to the low man who's down here. He's about to pick it up right now. So watch what happens. And this is where I'm saying they run this in a very advanced style. So they really don't have set positionings. They set it up as a centerman on the strong side post, but then it's open to adjustment. And at this level of play, these guys are good enough to be able to make those adjustments. So watch what happens now. Now the centerman is going to take, and I've said this before, but we usually call a centerman a third defenseman in the defensive zone. So now the centerman's going to pick up this guy. This defenseman is going to retreat back to the front of the net, and it's almost like a defensive zone cycle. I guess is maybe one of the best ways of describing this, but watch how it plays out. We'll keep going here. Okay, so now you can see the centerman now is on the strong side puck. We've still got our winger in good position here. We've got our sagging winger here. And we've got our other defenseman. Now he's getting himself in position just in case he needs to support the centerman. So it's really neat to watch how they support each other in the defensive zone. Okay, so now we see the defensemen. The defensemen are as the puck's coming up, the defensemen, they're both communicating with each other, watching what's going to happen, and eventually they'll get back into position. But as of now, the threat isn't in front of the net. As you can see, there's nobody in front of the net, so they're not too concerned about getting back to the front of the net overly quickly. So let's keep going here. They run another cycle. Now watch what we've got. Okay, so remember 16 was the centerman, and I don't know the names. I'm not a commentator here, but 16 was the centerman. So now watch. Now our other defenseman, okay, so this was the guy that was the weak side defenseman. Now he's going to be coming out. Centerman is retreating back, and the other defenseman I think is this number 8 here, and he's going to be coming back to the front of the net. So after that kind of rotation, then they end up back in proper positioning here. And there we are. We're perfect again. So we've got the strong side defenseman on the puck. Now the puck is on its way behind the net to the other side. We'll get to see another transitional shift here. But the strong side defenseman's on the puck. Centerman's on the strong side post. Weak side defenseman's on the weak side post. Weak side wingers in the low slot. So we're never outmanned in front of the net. They've always got their heads on a swivel, and then we had our other winger that's up top. And as we rotate, you should be seeing him now drop down, and this winger pulling out to the strong side defenseman. So let's go ahead and hit play and see if that actually materializes. Okay, so we actually had our winger was in a little bit weird position here, but now as you can see, it's an adjustment. So he gets back, now he's in good position. He's retreating back to the low slot. And you can see what has happened here. Our centerman has moved across. Our weak side winger now is I think it was number 44. He's on the back door. Okay, and we've got our strong side. Did I say weak side winger? I meant weak side defenseman. 44 on the back door. Strong side defenseman now is on the puck carrier. And now we've got our strong side winger again in that good position where he's able. Notice how his position is where he can see the puck in the corner, but he can also keep tabs on his defensive, the guy he's covering at the blue line. So this is a great position. If it does go back to the point, he's out. He can get there quickly, but he's still in that passing lane. So there's not much passing lane to get through to this weak side defenseman on the other team. Okay, we'll keep going here. So this is just perfect position. You couldn't draw this up any better. It really is. It's textbook positioning here. And then they were able to get the stick on it there, and I believe they end up chipping it out for, yeah, a little chip out, and now they're on their way out. So again, fantastic D-zone coverage. This is an excellent sagging zone coverage. This is almost exactly how we draw it up. The only difference between how we draw it up and what they actually did on the ice here was they've like I said, they use that advanced style where there's actually guys interchanging positions. And at the upper levels of play, there's no problem with that whatsoever. As long as your players are smart enough and they have to understand all the positions on the ice. If they understand all the positions on the ice and they're capable of making those reads and reacts, then there's no problem with having interchangeable positions, even in the D zone, even in the defensive zone. So again, that's Team Canada running that excellent sagging zone coverage. And you know, this was actually one of my favorite games to watch in the Olympics. It was a close game all the way through, and I think it ended up 1-0 final with Team Canada pulling up on top on that one. But anyways, like I said, use this for what it's worth, and we'll put the link in the description to the actual diagram where it's the video chalk talk where we're explaining this on the whiteboard, and you know, you can take a look at that as well. And hopefully this comes in useful for your games. And visit us at weisstechhockey.com for more hockey stuff, you know, drills, skills, instructional videos, all kinds of stuff that'll help you to improve your game and have a great season.